I want to say long distance relationships, if they do work out, they're one of the strongest relationships you can have. So in this video, these are all the pros and cons of a long distance relationship. I'm gonna go over the cons first and then the pros, and then you can weigh it out to see, you know, if you want a long distance relationship or not. The first con of an LDR is time. Time is very valuable because you're both doing different things. Even when you're in a relationship together and you're in the same like area code, it's still kind of hard because you kind of have to pick a date and go out, right? Or hang out. With long distance relationships, that's even harder because say you're in a long distance relationship, you're in the US and someone's in South Korea. The time zone difference is so crazy that one of you is going to lose sleep. One of you is going to slowly start declining in health because of the long distance relationship. And if you guys both have work, it's going to be even tougher for that. The second con to LDR is money. Now you might be thinking, well, we don't have to go out on dates, so what money are we spending? Well, you still have to buy gifts, right? You still have to send the other person gifts for, you know, the birthdays, for anniversaries. And also money is an issue because what if the other person wants to come see you, or what if you want to go see them? Who's going to pay for the flights? Who's going to pay for the travel fare back and forth? Who's going to pay for the hotel if you don't have your own place? Who's going to pay, you know, all these things? And it adds up because once they come over here, then you have to take them out to like dinner, lunch, all these other dates and do cute stuff together. And that's going to cost money too. So if they live across continents, the plane ticket is going to be a lot already. And then you have to pay for, you know, the hotels, the food, the travel, the cabs, the trains. To be fair, you might only have to do that a few times a year if you're in a long distance relationship, unless the other person wants to come see you all the time. Then that's very difficult because who's gonna, you know, if you're not a baller, good luck. But if you're in high school or in college and you want a long distance relationship, I highly suggest you don't, because it's almost impossible due to money alone. Because I was a college student, I know how broke we were, I know how broke I was. So thinking about a long distance relationship, I mean, I've actually done a semi long distance relationship in college and it didn't work out. Money was an issue. Yes. Anyways, the next con to a long distance relationship is affection, physicality. There are times in a relationship where you just want to hold the person. Let's say something happens, their day is really bad or shitty, and you want to be there for them. You want to hug them, you want to comfort them, but you can't because you're in a long distance relationship. And that's really hard mentally on you and on the other person, because when they need somebody and you're not there, it's difficult. And it sucks because you want to be there for them. There's also all the times where, you know, you want to kiss them and you can't. You want to show them affection. You want to show them that you love them, but you can't. I mean, sure, there's different other ways, but I'm saying though, in a long distance relationship, instead of having all options to show your affection, already limited yourself away from, you know, physicality as an option. You can't walk down the street and hold hands together. You can't hug them. You can't put your arms around them. You can't snuggle and cuddle with them. And the last and most important con is trust. Even in a regular relationship, trust is a really big issue, and it's one of the hardest issues too. In long distance relationships, trust matters that much more because you don't know what the other person's up to. The other person could literally tell you, oh, like, yeah, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed, and just go out and hang out with their friends or something, and you will never know. You'll never know. They could tell you, I only want to be with you, and, you know, smooth talk you and everything, but at the same time they're talking to somebody else, and you will never know. You have to 100% trust that the other person loves you or wants to be with you the same amount that you love them or that you want to be with them. And there's no way to prove it either. That's the hardest part. There's no way to prove it. If you're in a close proximity, that's a little different story because, you know, let's say the other person says, I can't hang out, I gotta do something, and then, you know, you go to the mall and they happen to be at the mall also, but with somebody else, right? You could catch them. But if you're in a long distance relationship and you're on the opposite sides of, you know, like East and West Coast, you can't tell. They could be doing whatever they want, and you won't know. And you just have to go 100% on trust, 100%. And that's really difficult, especially if you had, you know, other relationships end badly before in the past. Especially if you have trust issues, it's not a good time, right? You might as well just forego long distance relationships and just look for somebody local. I'm telling you right now, you save yourself a lot of headache, you save yourself a lot of pain, a lot of time, and a lot of stress. Stress could do a lot to your body and to your mental. It's not good for you. So this is, yeah, don't do a long distance relationship if you're that. Now, however, I said this in the beginning, that a long distance relationship is one of the strongest relationships you can have. And here are the pros. The pros are, it's one of the best relationships you can have. If you can beat all these things, all these cons, they all turn into pros. All of them turn into pros. The reason why all of them turn into pros is because all those things benefit you in the long run. If you could get through the trust factor alone, that makes your relationship 90% better than all the rest of the relationships ever, because trust is one of the biggest issues, right? If you can't trust the other person to stay loyal to you, then what's the point of the relationship? And in the long distance relationship, that's the really only thing you have to go on is 100% trust. 100%. The hardest things in life are what is really worth it. And that goes to a long distance relationship. And I feel like that's the misunderstanding that a lot of people had when I made the first video about long distance relationships. It's not that like, I don't think long distance relationships don't work out, period. It's more like, I don't think long distance relationships work out for most people. How many of us can actually be in a long distance relationship right now? If you really think about it, do you have the time? Do you have the money? Are you mentally and emotionally stable enough to trust that other person? Are you okay with not being able to touch them and physically be there with them? These are all questions that you really need to ask yourself and check all the boxes, especially check the trust one. Because if you have trust, then everything else should be okay. You could get through everything else. Money, you know, you can save up. Time, you can make time. And the physicality part, just make up for it when you guys see each other. But trust is the big one. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I also hope that you guys don't think this is a video to like stop you from going for a long distance relationship. By all means, if you want to do it and go through all that, go for it. But I'm just saying, like, this is kind of like a bar to set, right? It's like, if you're in this part of life and you can't get through all these things, don't put yourself through it. Just wait until you're in a better position in life where you get a job or something else, and then go for a long distance relationship. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you guys for stopping by. Peace.